Hey guys, Telegram Sam here. If you don't already know, I have an Instagram. It's Telegram underscore Sam underscore vinyl. So if you're on Instagram, check me out on there. But in today's video, we're talking about 45s. What's the point of them? What's the point of collecting them? Uh, I feel like 45s are like one of those things that like people who collect records or collect music in general, no matter what format you listen to, it kind of gets neglected and forgotten about a little bit. There's people that really love them and that's all they collect, or there's people that just don't get the point of them. They're like, why would I only buy something with 2 or 3 songs on it when I can just have a whole album? I see both sides of the argument, but as someone who has started kind of seriously collecting 45s for the last year, a little more than a year or so, I found that there's a lot of great benefits that maybe records or some other physical formats of music can't give you. So we're going to be diving in to my big old box of 45s. These are all the 45s that I currently have. Just to like give you some examples of why 45s are so cool and why maybe you should start collecting them, or just like dipping your toes in the 45 water. And if 45s aren't your thing, that's totally cool. But I feel like since I've started collecting them, people have left comments being like, oh, like, what are some things that you like about 45s? What we suggest as someone who's trying to collect 45s, like, just why you like them and why are you like getting into them. So this is kind of answering those questions. But I think overall, my goal with my channel is to get people to listen to as much music as possible and to get out of their music comfort zones. I catch myself getting into my comfort zones of listening to Iggy Pop and INXS and, punk, alts, rock, pop. I feel like that's like my comfort zone of music. And I'll catch myself and be like, okay, what's something I haven't listened to or I've always been interested to listen to? I just want to get people to be more excited and more adventurous with their music taste. I feel like 45s are such a great, cheap, and easy way to do that. Here's a great example. Let me find it in my collection here. But this is Astro Launch by Man or Astro Man. Man or Astro Man are a killer sort of garage sci-fi surf band. They're just like one of those bands kind of have to hear to fully believe. But I remember someone else on the vinyl community was talking about them in one of their videos, and like that band name Man or Astro Man kind of just stuck in my head. And I went to the record store one day and found this record for all of $5. I don't know if my camera will zoom in on that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll try it out, see what it's all about. This is actually a sort of dark brown translucent vinyl, but it kind of just looks black. But as soon as I heard it, I fell in love with it. It's totally up my alley. And I've talked about Man or Astro Man a lot on my channel since I've discovered this 45. And then 45s are actually really easy to find. They released a lot of them throughout their career. I think they were started in like the early 80s, and I think they were touring up to like 5 to 10 years ago. But they released a lot of 45s and released very few LPs. I only have one LP by them, and it's like a $75 record, while you can usually find their 45s for like $5 to $10. And it's just as good as the stuff that's on their full-length records. And they released a lot of cool novelty things. Like another thing I have from them is this 5-inch record. This is the only 5-inch record I have. But yeah, this is just so cool. It's this post-phonic star exploration. And yeah, it's just so cool. I mean, who else makes 5-inch records? This is a tiny little 5-inch record. But yeah, there's just another group that I probably would have never discovered if I was a little less open-minded about 45s. another great thing is that it's a great sort of avenue for people who aren't signed by major labels and don't have that major label money to press all of these records to release their own records. So you get introduced to a lot of cool, obscure artists. Let me find one I wanted to talk about. This is Experiments by Harvey Gold. Harvey Gold didn't release much music. I think there was only one other release besides this one. But yeah, this is a small town guy from Akron, Ohio, who was part of Clone Records, which I believe released a lot of other sort of smaller independent artist stuff. But he does a really cool cover of Keep a Close Watch and an original song on the B-side called Armadillo, which is my favorite song off of this. It's just like this weird, trippy, progressive rock. Like it's a little bit of everything. Again, another one of those things that you kind of have to hear to believe. I'll probably end up playing that song Armadillo on one of my 5 songs I'm obsessed with videos, so you guys can kind of hear what I'm talking about. Plus, I do truly love that song and think it's great. But yeah, I would have never heard of this man, discovered this man's work if I didn't see this at my record store for $8. But yeah, just such a cool way, like if you're just tired of listening to mainstream artists or artists that get talked about so much and you're like, I just want to discover someone who I've never heard before, probably no one else knows of or cares about, and listen to this person's music, because their music to me is just as important as Led Zeppelin's or the Beatles. They were someone who had a creative spark, decided to put energy and money behind it and release it. Obviously it's something they cared about, so it should be listened to too. And yeah, this is a killer record, and again, just would have never have discovered it or listened to it if it wasn't for just my interest in being like, I wonder what this cool Experiments thing is about. In another sense, it's also a cool way for artists to release really cool, or major artists to release really cool sort of solo work or sort of collaborative work. This is a great single that was part of the Sub Pop collection last year. Kim Gordon of Sonic Youth and now her own solo stuff. I'm actually going to go see her for my birthday next month, and I am so excited. And this was her collaborative effort with Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. But yeah, this is just so cool. I mean, they're two of some of the most important people in alternative rock, indie music, and I think this is probably one of the more expensive 45's in my collection. But it is a cool collectible thing if that's what you're into and you want to hear these great masterminds of those genres collaborate together. I really, really love the B-side song on here called Slow Boy. That's probably my favorite of the 2 songs on here. And another thing that doesn't get talked enough when it comes to 45's are the sound quality of 45's. I feel like 45's aren't particularly known for the sound quality, but one of the greatest sounding records in my collection is a 45. It is, find it, this one by The Church. This is the single for Under the Milky Way. This is a promo version that has the single edit and then the album version. But it is just, it's so loud, it's so clear. It's honestly one of the greatest, probably top 10, top 5 greatest sounding records I have in my collection. And plus I just love the song Under the Milky Way. It's definitely up there as one of my all-time favorite songs. It's such a beautiful melodic, it has great lyrics to it. Again, probably another one I'll play for 5 songs I'm obsessed with the video, but it's a bit more well known. And also just the history aspect of 45's, because 45's were sort of the in-betweener format of 78's, the first fully known form of records, and long plays. So this is the oldest record, or I think record in general, and definitely the oldest 45 I have in my collection. This is a 1959 version of the Coasters' Poison Ivy backed with I'm a Hog for You. But yeah, a lot of the Coaster stuff actually was released originally on 45's, and then once sort of long plays took over in the late 50s, early 60s, a lot of these labels like Atco just released the singles sort of compiled together on a full LP, which I think I only have one of by the Coasters. But they were all originally released as 45. Same thing with all Elvis's stuff, Little Richard stuff, Chuck Berry stuff. It was all released as 45s before they were sort of compiled or re-recorded to be put onto long play records. So again, just such a cool piece of history to have. And this record sounds fantastic, even though it has some like surface scratches. You literally can't hear it. It sounds super, super clean. But yeah, just to have a piece of music history in my collection is just so cool. And yeah, just something you can't really get with long plays or other physical formats. But anyways, this was sort of my little love letter to 45s, and maybe just sort of just trying to get people into it. It's a really cool format. It's a really cool way to just find really cheap, easy ways to get into a genre or an artist or an album. It's just so cool, and I wish more people in the VC would show off some more of their 45s in their videos, or just start collecting, or just talk about them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you collect 45s and what are some of your favorites that you have in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.